Welcome, y'all. We have a busy day today. We are going to do step 2 for our sweet potato slips. We are going to check in on last week's seedlings, especially our experimental snail seed roll, and see how that is doing. We're going to up pot some peppers. We're going to plant some more seeds, or start some more seeds, and we are going to do some more of the seed rolls. We are going to, exciting news. We are going outside and plant the first things actually outside for this spring. I'm going to do some carrots and some onions in one raised bed that is already cleared. And I want to take you and show you my garden in the natural state that it is, and it is a hot mess, and give you a sneak peek because next video we are going to do the spring cleanup of the whole garden, get everything prepped and ready and started. My name's Loanna, and this is a little bit of homestead.
Before we start on step 2 of the sweet potatoes, let's check in on these peppers. These are the jalapeno seedlings we started a few weeks ago, and they have gotten leggy. That's when they are stretching to get enough light, but no worries, we can fix it. I believe this happened because they sprouted so quickly and they were under the plastic cover, and I didn't know that they'd sprouted, so they got a little too far. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in larger pots and show you how I'm going to remedy this. So I'm going to gently remove these and set them aside. And we are going to basically put these deeply into this pot so that the soil surrounds the stem and the leaves are just popping out at the top. Be careful not to break the little stem. The soil will protect it. They'll be fine. Nothing to stress over. You're just up potting them a little sooner than we would be. No big deal. They'll be fine. I watered these real good from the bottom of the tray, and we're just going to mist the top of them gently. And we're going to sit them where they're very close to the light to keep them from doing it again. So here we are with part 2 of starting our sweet potato slips. These things are taking their sweet time, but they're coming along. Now the other ones, they are doing great. Just look at them.
Okay, you can see that these are growing out of the sweet potato. I am going to just go down at the base and cut it off. Now this one is really long, and I'm going to take these 2 leaves off the bottom, and I'm going to cut it just above this leaf right here and just place it in the water. Now I'm going to take off these bottom 2, and I don't know if you can see, there's like more leaves starting, so at these nodes we'll get roots all up through here. I'll put a little more water in that. So let's see, let's cut. And take off these. This one I'm going to take off these bottom 3 leaves. On this last one, I'm going to go down here just at the base. There's a little node down there. I'm going to cut just above that node, and I'm going to cut off on this one. I'm going to cut off these bottom 3 as well. I don't know if you can see, there's like little leaves trying to grow out right here. It will root there as well. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to I'm going to leave this one for just a little bit longer, and I want to show you something. I don't know if you can see, but this almost looks like it's got frost on it, and when you rub it, it feels like water, and that's what it is. It's like it'll look like a crystallization, but it's too much water, and they'll just get like, it'll look like ice on it, but it's just water. Nothing to worry about. So it's just getting a little too much humidity and moisture, but you can see all the little starts. We're going to have lots, and where I've cut these, we should get more starts off of them as well. And we'll just keep trimming them off and adding them as they grow. And I'm going to label this with just on the glass with a Sharpie, and we're going to put the different varieties so we don't get this mixed up. And this is the official orange variety. I don't know what it is. It's my favorite, and it's the one I've grown for the last 2 years. And I've just started my slips from the previous year's potatoes, so I don't even remember what it is anymore, but it's a good orange sweet potato. So just label that, and that's it.
And I wanted to show you just 3 days later, this had already happened. It happens really fast. And these will continue to grow and get taller, and we'll cut them off at the top and put them back down. You just end up with lots and lots of slips. Now this is the one, we rooted this, I believe it was March 7th, and it's coming along slowly but surely. So this is a way to do it, but it does move a little slower. But perfect if you want to just do something on your windowsill and it doesn't take up hardly any space at all. Real quick before we go outside and check the garden and plant our carrots, let's take a look at our seed rolls. If you didn't see my video on the seed roll, I'll link that video at the end. But so far I'm really liking it. It's such a time saver and a space saver. So what I've done is I've taken, this is bubble wrap. You can use any kind of plastic that, it helps if it's a little thicker. So I doubled that, and I just put me some potting soil on here, and you just roll. And I've been using tape on here instead of tying the string around it like I did in the last video. Much easier. And as you can see in this tiny little spot, I've got a whole bunch of dill, something else I don't remember what it is because I'm not good at labeling, some parsley, some rooted parsley. So I'm just tapping this down a little bit, firming it up, and we're going to plant seeds just like you would any other time. This is a early Jersey cabbage. It's ready in like 55 days. It gets pretty hot fast here, so I figure I still have time for this one. And I'm just placing these in about a ½ inch to an inch apart. I am going to be planting a lot of my seeds for summer this year in this same manner. Probably most everything except my squash. So keep an eye out for a follow-up video on that. I really think I like this method. So we're just going to place a little bit of soil on top of these just like you would planting any other technique. Tap it down in, and we'll water it in real good. So let's go out here to my happy place, and it is a hot mess right now. We have this gate here to keep the dogs out.
Well, I let the boys in by mistake. They don't get in here often, so. And it is covered over with the dead nettle. And I don't mind that. I let it act as a ground cover, even though I've mulched with leaves over the winter.
I have 3 long beds with paths in between and all the way around.
I let the dead nettle take over because it's great for the pollinators. On warm days through the winter, we have bees out here all through the winter, so I don't mind. They killed a mouse in the compost bin a couple weeks ago, so they think there's one out here all the time. But there might be. Maybe there is. Maybe there is.
But I'll get out here and get all that dead stuff off of the trellises and pull all the dead nettle. I'll feed it to the chickens. I've been doing it gradually just to have extra chicken feed. It's a really good herb to have.
I don't think there's anything, guys.
But we'll clear up these paths and it'll look great in no time. It really goes from a mess to gorgeous in a matter of weeks. For example, this was last May when we just put the trellises up, and about a month before this, it looked a mess too. And believe it or not, this next section was just started, the majority of it, early last spring.
So as you can see, this is my food forest-ish situation. I have my fruit trees, figs. That is a dwarf mulberry. I moved it last year, so I'm anxious to see if it lives. In that bed back there is where we're going to plant the carrots and onions. But that's my compost bin in the back. My sweet potatoes grow in those big pots. Got more pots for who knows what. But that's what we're looking at. Real life in the garden. Oh, they're still hunting mice. They think they're doing something big.
Alrighty, let's get these carrots and onions planted. I am going to stagger the rows and plant a row of carrots, a row of onions, a row of carrots, a row of onions. And I'm just going to mark where I want my carrots with these boards. And after I get them planted in, we're going to cover them back up with the boards to protect them just until they get germinated. So I'm just going to make my little trenches here and sow my seeds. I am going to sow the carrot seeds really generously because I have not had a good track record with growing carrots. So my game plan is just overdo it, and then I can come back in and thin them out after they've sprouted. Also, the squirrels like to come and dig in this bed all the time. They drive me crazy. So hopefully the boards will protect everything and deter the squirrels. But we're just going to repeat the process. And then we're going to come along and do our onions in between. That's a common way to keep your carrot seeds moist, is to cover them with cardboard, burlap, or boards. It gets pretty windy out here, plus, like I said, the squirrels. So I'm using boards, and you just leave them on there until they germinate and check them often, and then you come out and remove them once they've got little greens popping up through. And we're going to make sure to keep them good and moist until they get germinated. And there they are. I picked up some onion slips at the local greenhouse, and I think tax and all, they were right around $5. That puts them at about 15 cents a piece. I wanted to do a comparison to see how well they do with these versus my ones I started from seed. There's about 1 cent a piece from the ones we started from seed. So I just thought it'd be fun. Plus, I can't resist picking something up at the greenhouse. I spaced these out about 3 to 4 inches apart. Just put them down just where the bulb is just under the soil. You don't want to plant them down too deep. And we're going to get everything watered in really good. I will pull the boards back and gently water really well where I planted the seeds, and then I'll place the boards back and water everything really good again. So check out these videos that I have linked above here. And also next time we're going to clean up this garden, plant some potatoes. We will be checking on the progress of the seed rolls. I thank you all so much for hanging out with me. My name's Loanna, and this is a Little Bit of Homestead.